wanted to chat with Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk Live co-host, NBC Football Night in America. Anytime Tom Brady's name comes up, it's a reason to have Florio on. I thought, okay, maybe Tom, he's going to be a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. And then Jimmy Garoppolo had off-season surgery. And now feels like maybe Tom's in the on-deck circle playing for the Raiders. Mike, who is owed a pie to the face because he did say that Tom Brady was going to go to the 49ers, we're never going to let it go, Mike, until you do it.
I need to do it.
Yeah.
I need to do it. I need to figure out how best to do it, where to get the pie.
Your wife can do it, Mike.
I think we agreed to lemon meringue because it's particularly acidic.
Yes.
And it will irritate the eyes.
It'll burn your face. Yes, it'll burn your face. All right. Help us understand exactly what's going on with the Raiders.
Well, last week it was reported originally by The Athletic that Jimmy Garoppolo had surgery on his foot. And, things move pretty fast. Days become weeks, become months. I'm thinking, wait a minute, he had that foot injury in December. Did he not have surgery then? You go back and look, well, he didn't have surgery then. Well, wait a minute, why didn't he have surgery then? But he's having surgery in March, and he had the surgery after he signed with the Raiders. And then I remembered, well, there was a weird delay in his press conference, had everybody in the building. They sent everybody home. And the next day he acts like no big deal, nothing to see here. That should be the NFL's new slogan, by the way, nothing to see here, because we hear that all the time. I got the contract on Saturday night, and I read the contract, and I was stunned. Lengthy addendum G for Garoppolo, injury waiver that deals with the foot. They took away his signing bonus over it. He was due to make $11.25 million the moment he signed under the contract they negotiated before they did the physical. Did the physical, he failed the physical, had to go get surgery. And the way the contract's written, if this surgery doesn't work, they never pay him a penny. And their fallback is Brian Hoyer and rookie Aiden O'Connell. It's just a weird situation, Dan, and I wonder how it was all kept secret and why it was all kept secret. It makes no one look good at all. It makes Garoppolo look like maybe he was hiding something. It makes the Raiders look negligent to not have an alternative plan. And that's what brings Brady right to the front burner, because he's becoming a partial owner of the very team that could be without a proven quarterback when week one rolls around.
Okay, can he play? How would Brady be eligible to play?
And I've seen this from multiple different reports, most recently documented by the Las Vegas Review-Journal. For him to become a player, if he's an owner, there has to be a unanimous vote of all owners. And that seems a little harsh to me. And I find, isn't it in these guys' interest to have Brady on the field? The guy makes money for everyone. But I had someone explain it to me over the weekend. Here's the problem. You have a guy who's in the building. You have a guy who has access to practice, to meetings, to the playbooks, to the game plans. It's like having an extra guy on the roster. There's something that isn't fair about it from a competitive standpoint. You have this guy as your emergency option, and he's already up to speed on everything. It's just a matter of putting him in a helmet and a uniform and putting him on the field. So if it's going to take a 32-0 vote, Dan, my guess is there's going to be teams that say no, 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 especially in the AFC West, because the Broncos tried to do this, who compete obviously with the Raiders. They tried to do it when they had that game during the pandemic where they had none of their quarterbacks available, and they'd go with receiver Kendall Hinton. They had a couple of assistant coaches they wanted to put on the roster, and the league said, no, can't do it. Same idea. It's like having extra guys on your team because they know what's going on. So if he goes through with this, the deal's done with Mark Davis, just needs to be approved. Unless he walks it back, he's not going to be able, I believe, to play for the Raiders and be a minority owner of the Raiders.
Okay, so he could not become the minority owner, but he could just postpone that.
And why not? And that's the thing. This is the ultimate Hooper get off the pot moment for Brady. I mean, if you're thinking about playing, pull the plug on this ownership or delay it by a year. It's an easy fix. And Dan, my understanding is simple. And this is a question I asked somebody who's in a position to know what Brady's up to after he had that appearance in Miami several weeks back, and he was asked, is there any chance you're going to be the quarterback of our local team? And instead of saying, well, your local team has a quarterback, or no, I'm retired, he said just enough to stoke interest. My understanding is he's done, but he loves being the center of attention. He loves being talked about. He loves it when his name comes up. And I find that refreshing. It's good to know that there's like an actual human in there somewhere that is driven by the same petty crap the rest of us are. So that's good. But so, so I think he loves it. But at the end of the day, he's not going to play.
Arizona Cardinals, are they on the clock for next year's draft?
Well, Dan, they haven't actually, and this is potentially intriguing today. DeAndre Hopkins hasn't officially been released yet. There's still a chance, very slim, but we've seen it before where a team says, hey, we're releasing so-and-so, and then at the very last minute, there's a trade that's done. I don't think that's going to happen. But the key piece of evidence for me is that the Cardinals could, if they wanted to, wait until Friday to cut DeAndre Hopkins. If they wait until Friday, they split the $22.6 million cap charge over 2 years. They basically create $11.3 million in cap space this year. They're not doing that. They don't want to do that. They don't want to have that money on the books. They don't even want to be in position where if somebody drops out of the sky, and we see veterans get cut all the time, somebody we didn't expect, we could get that guy and make our team better. Well, now they can say, sorry, we don't have the cap space to do it because they've deliberately pushed it to next year. They're pushing it to next year. They don't care about this year. It's not a surprise, but it's a tangible piece of evidence as to what we already think the Cardinals are. A team that isn't going to try to compete, a team that maybe will position itself to have the number 1 overall pick in the draft and the Houston Texans first round pick wherever they land. And it feels like they're in, whether you call it rebuilding, remodeling, or flat out tanking. The Cardinals don't care about this season.
All right. One of the Danettes has a double or nothing pie bet for you, Mike. Okay.
Oh, God.
Yes, Paulie.
Yeah, I had the initial bet with Florio that got him the pie with the 49ers. So, Florio, Mike, I'm going to try to get you out of this because I know you're protecting the hair, which I respect. Double or nothing. You have to tell me who the starting quarterback week 1 first snap is for both the Raiders and the 49ers. If you get both right, you're out.
Wow. But if I'm wrong, I get 2 pies.
2 pies.
Do you want to roll the dice on that, Mike?
Well, what the hell? Since I've avoided 1 pie, I can avoid 2.
Respect.
So let's go. Even though I'm intrigued and fascinated by the story, I do think it will be Jimmy Garoppolo for the Raiders week 1. I think they'll get him ready to go week 1. And I believe the week 1 quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, I'm not going to go chalk here. I'm going to make it interesting. I'm going to go ahead and accept the pie. I will say, just for the interest of entertainment, that the week 1 starting quarterback for the 49ers will be Sam Darnold.
Boom. Mike Florio, Pro Football
No, 2
Talk.
pies coming.
Yes.
Or not.
Yeah. Pro Football Talk Live co-host. Thank you, Mike.
See you guys. Have a good day.
Yeah, I saw there was a story where somebody in San Francisco said that Rich Eisen had inside information or a source with the Niners because Rich had the audacity to say he could see Brock Purdy as the starter and the Niners would then trade away Trey Lance. And I went, okay, where's the insider information there? That can't. If Brock Purdy is healthy, ready to play, Sam Darnold is going to be my backup quarterback, I would think. Maybe you could recoup what you gave up to get Trey Lance. Seems logical to me.